Eurovision Song Contest. It's a state of play. It's a state of play.
We have a Eurovision.
Get all the updates. Join the conversation with Alesia Michelle.
Sean, who are you wearing? She did it.
Starting now.
Oh my goodness. Welcome to another Eurovision State of Play episode. I, of course, am your host, Alesia Michelle. Hey, if you've never been in my channel before, welcome. This is your opportunity to like this video and to subscribe. This is our not so much weekly, I would say at minimum monthly, but I think I do it typically like at least twice a month. This is our conversation where we run down all the latest news happening in the Eurovision world. And today I want to kick off this video and just say thank you. I want to say thank you to everybody who has watched for a long time. I have hit 28K subscribers. That is insane. If you had told me all the years ago when I sat here and decided to, well, I didn't really sit here, but I was sitting in a chair and I decided to say, okay, I'm going to do my Eurovision channel and everything. I was excited for 200 views. Okay. I was like, man, I am in here. We are having the conversations that I want to be having. So I just want to say thank y'all to everyone who's been rocking with me for a long time. And I want to say welcome to all of the new folks who are coming over here to the channel. We have a good time over here. We really, really do. We really, really do. We have a really nice time over here. So no, I just want to say thank you to everyone. 28K is a huge number. It is not the biggest number, okay? It's not the biggest number, but I'm not out here trying to do this for the masses. For those who have been long in the streets, we're trying to have the insider conversations here. I'm talking about, fans. If I was out here trying to do stuff for the masses, the content would be a little bit different. It probably would, because most people don't want to sit here for an hour and talk about this stuff, but we do. We do. Okay. So I am just excited to be here. I'm thankful and grateful for all of y'all. All right. Now we've got a jam-packed agenda today. But I'm going to try and get through all of this stuff because we got so much to talk about. I just wanted to say thank you first. We're going to talk about some events that I'm doing. We're going to be talking about all the latest news on Eurovision.tv because I always like to give a little overview of what is the EBU talking about right now. So I'm going to do that. We are going to touch on the boycott news. Because we have to touch on all the news that's happening in the space. I want to talk about, so start thinking about this. What you think the best national selection was this year. National selection season is over. We can really sit and have a conversation and a debate. Friendly, as always, friendly debate about that. I want to do like a little winner potential check-in conversation because the odds are really short. I did do a podcast the other day. So if you haven't checked out the Eurovision For Real podcast, you want to do that. We're going to talk about what semi we think is our favorite semi and what semi we think is going to be the hardest. I have some thoughts. And then of course, I might just close out on us talking about non-qualifiers, but of course we have our Q&A section. So, whoa. That's a lot of shit to talk about. I'm sorry. Okay, now we cursing out here. Okay, so I want to kick off and just say I am going to be doing events. I remember in Turin, there were some people who said that they saw the events like online and thought that is this really happening? Is this a scam or something? It is not a scam. I'm selling the tickets on Eventbrite. If you want more information, you can go to Eurovision Fam. That's EurovisionFam.com /events. Really easy. I have a link there and I will start putting that link in my description. But on Eurovision Fam, I did come out with an article, sort of detailing the events of stuff. Let me drop that in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, I will drop that link in the chat. And then the other thing I will say is I have been promoting them. I have the links on my Instagram page and on Twitter. So confirmed right now, I've got 3 events going down. So first I have Middagsfest med mig. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. It's a dinner party with me. That's going to be going down Monday, May 6th. We're going to be having traditional Swedish food, chatting. We've had a dinner before. We did it in Turin. It was so much fun. We're going to have a 3-course meal, and then there's also going to be some surprises along the way. So that one is happening. Then we're going to be having a sonically superb, because y'all know, y'all be teasing me when I use the word sonically, but it's a word. It's a real word, okay? So we're going to have the sonically superb smorgasbord party. So that one's going to be going down in Copenhagen, and we're going to be having a traditional Danish smorgasbord, food pairing and everything. There is, I think, wine and beer included with some of these tickets. So if you're looking at the ticket price and you're like, oof, that feels a little bit pricey, that one, those might not be in your budget. But guess what? On Friday night, we're going to be pub crawling it in Copenhagen. It's going to be so much fun roaming around. And actually, this is kind of like an alternative pub crawl. So the night is going to end with a drag show and I think drag DJ performer. We're going to go to like an arcade. We're going to try some craft beer. There are like shots included, and that one's probably the cheapest event. I am trying to work on maybe one more event. But yes, yes. So those are all the events. So if you are planning on traveling for Eurovision and you're like maybe going by yourself, come on along with us. You don't have to be by yourself. This is about community. Okay. So those are the events that I am doing. All right. Let's move on to and again, you can get all the details of the events, eurovisionfam.com/events. And I also have links like on Twitter and then also linking on like my Instagram page and whatnot. So yeah, come on out to the events. All right, let's move on. Okay, let me hop into some of these comments because yeah, so Lightsaber says, how did you make the events? What do you mean, how did I make them? I don't know. Maybe I don't understand the question. I've done events before in the past, so venue, space, and then you got to pay ahead of time. And the pub crawl, I am partnering actually with a pub crawl company that already does pub crawls in Copenhagen. So that one was actually way easier to put together. And then someone said, are you going to be staying in Copenhagen or Malmö? Welcome. You should check out the previous content because I have been very clear where I'm going to be staying down to the bar. Okay. All right. Well, the first thing I wanted to kind of touch on is let's just do a little round robin of like the main stories that we had dropped this week. So Azerbaijan came out with their song. I have not heard it yet. Okay. I haven't heard it yet. So if y'all are talking about it, if you think it's good, cool. Don't spoil it for me, maybe. I haven't heard it. Next up, Melody Festival, SVT is going to be doing a grand final watch party. They're doing it at Malmö Live. I will say in 2016, I actually watched at Tele2. So sort of like a similar situation where you can watch the big show, not just if you can't make it to the arena or you don't maybe want to do a Eurovision village sort of situation outside. They're having an indoor venue. There's like standing room only, I think, at the party. And then there's also going to be like, I think like seated seats. So I saw that. That's pretty cool. Giving people more options to try and figure out how they want to watch the show. Makes sense. Also, another story that they had was Malmö is going to be a certified sustainable event. You know, as someone who used to work in toxic chemical legislation reform, I will say a lot of these sticker things, they feel like just that, like a sticker. But I live in the world where I'm like, I appreciate you for making the effort. I appreciate them for attempting to make the effort because we know with a lot of events like this, the paper that people print, the swag and stuff that just ends up in like landfills and trash cans. I know some of us, you know, in our bubble, we're holding on to every single little thing. I think y'all can even see here, I have like all my old press passes. You see like I'm like, can I figure right there? Like I hold on to some of that stuff, but I'm a sentimental Cancer. So I guess that's just what we did. Yes. So yeah. So we'll see. Where are we going? Oh, here we go. So Armenia's song dropped. I did do a reaction to Armenia's song. I like it. I like it. That song is joyful. I'm really, really feeling it. All right, and then next up we have Iceland. So Iceland did confirm their participation. How are y'all feeling about it? Because I was sort of living in the world at this, like, I'm gonna just tell you my opinion. At this point, Iceland, y'all can't be threatening not participating anymore. This is like the third, fourth time I think y'all have done it. Maybe it's not the third or fourth time, but at this point, I'm just going to assume that you're participating every single year. So they have confirmed. So I am Stevan says Iceland is DOA. Essex says Armenia is an absolute bop. Where? Oh, here we go. Oh, someone said. Oh, wait. I don't even know where we're going with that one. Oh, Bruno says Iceland is staying in the semi. So we are going to have a conversation breaking down the semi. Like, we'll see. ESC Dakota, Iceland fumbled again. Gospodin, I'm happy for Iceland. Would be nonsense if they withdrew. Okay. And then, oh, here we go. Oh, Terp says, glad Iceland didn't withdraw, but it's not qualifying, to be honest. Okay. And then Vincenzo says DOA, dead on arrival. That's when we say that, it means like they're going to participate, but we all feel pretty confident that it's not going to make it. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to break it down. We're going to be, it would have, K-pop says Hera's DOA. It would have been so impactful if they had said bye-bye. Well, here we are. So they confirmed. So that's like some of the latest news there. Obviously, Sweden picked their entry, the twin boys. And then we had Georgia's song drop. And then let's talk about the big news. I think this was like big news this week. So, viewers tuning into the semifinals are now going to be able to enjoy an extra element of entertainment, or three to be precise. For the first time, the artists from the big five countries are going to actually perform their entries in full during the semifinals. What do y'all think about this? What do y'all think about it? I kind of don't hate it because I have always sat here and I know where some people are like, oh, it's not fair. The big five ends up, direct in the grand final. I have always said that I'm like, I don't actually think it works to an advantage to like have them sort of in that position. So what do y'all think? Here we go. Okay, wait. So, I'm like, comments coming so fast. Pinwiz, I'm so happy I get to see Spain perform live twice. Okay. Lori says, I wish the big five had to send me their songs. I actually think it would work more to their advantage if they did so. I've always, I think, been pretty consistent, in that regard. So I don't know. For me, the only thing that I worry about is, and I'm not saying that people are this, because I think people are smarter than what we think, but dumber than what we think. If that makes any sense. Like, I always kind of say, like, sometimes it's like, no, they'll get that. But then, like, maybe the thing that's like so clear they don't get. So smarter than what we think, but dumber than what we think, in a sense. And I don't worry about like people being confused and going, oh, I want to vote for Germany tonight. Like, I don't think that people will be confused in that regard, but I do wonder if it hurts how people want to pick up the phone for some of the semifinal performances, because it might make them go, oh, well, I don't really, you know what I mean? Like, especially if the big five is coming strong, or if the big five is sending, and the returning country sending something that might be direct competition, because then it's like, oh, maybe I don't want to vote. And I'm not saying it happens all the time, but I'm like, maybe some people will be like, I don't want to vote. So let's use an example. And this is just like a fake example. Let's say semifinal one. Semifinal one. We have Lithuania, and then let's say the UK is performing in that one example. Someone might go, oh, actually, I like this one more than I like this one if it's in the same demographic. That's my only fear, is that maybe then we might lose some of the songs that we would have gotten if people kind of prefer how the big five is delivering it. That's the only thing that I was kind of flirting with in my mind, but let me see what y'all get. So Yash, hopefully they put like a disclaimer before they sing so normal audiences don't get confused. Shroomy says, I assume this also means that the big five countries will start their rehearsals at the same time as the semi countries, whereas previously they do theirs last. Yes, I think that's like a smart assumption to make. Someone said that Edvina, I think is saying kind of what I'm saying. I'm not necessarily saying less polished, but like the finalists will outshine some of the acts and make them look less polished. I think that that's a maybe unintended consequence. David, Big Five is what it is. If we need the money, this is a good solution. Makes sense for their entries, to see their entries in the qualifiers. Okay, yeah. Um, Pamela, I think it gives more people a chance to fall in love with them and rally around them. Yeah, I mean, all in all, I kind of feel like all in all, I kind of feel good about this overall. This is like I think a big change, but I think it's a big change that's going to stick around because sometimes they try things out and then it doesn't stick around. I kind of feel like this is going to stay. And I'll just shout out to Avril fan. Hello from Croatia. First time here. Love your channel. Thank you. Glad you were able to make it live. And again, if you're watching this conversation on the replay and you haven't already liked this video and subscribed, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? This is your opportunity to like this video and to subscribe. Okay, we had some other big news, so I'm going to pivot because we got so much to talk about. So the other big news is the voting piece. Okay, we got a new note, so let me read this. Okay, on Saturday the 11th of May, so this is not happening in the semifinals, which I in my podcast I was kind of like, wait, are they going to do this in the semis too? So this, we'll get to talking about the semifinals, but voting will open just before the first song is performed. Viewers at home will be able to cast their votes as the songs are performed rather than waiting until all the entries have been presented, as has been the case since public voting was introduced in 1997. And then they mentioned some other things. Additionally, fans in non-participating countries, rest of the world, will have 24 hours to vote for their favorite songs before each of the live shows begin. Online voting will open for the rest of the world immediately after the second dress rehearsal for each semifinal. Okay, so for the final, so the rest of the world, they're giving us more time to vote, and it'll stay open until the live shows begin. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty crazy. But that's also going to be great for me because then when I'm doing my watch Eurovision with me, when we do the stream together, then you don't have to worry about that portion where I'm like, okay, y'all, sorry, I got to get my credit cards out and and cast my vote. You won't have to sit through that. So yes, like, so people can't vote for the big five in the semifinals. Correct. This will be for the grand final. This will be for the grand final. And what else we got? Ray says, will they perform at the end of the show? It's not necessarily saying where they're going to be performed. I think it's safe to assume that they will probably have them, like, it's like the voting and stuff, and then they have them perform. I'm assuming that that's what we get. The other thing I kind of like about the big five performing, and no shade, but sometimes some of these interval acts get way too dragged on. And so I'm hoping that this fills some of that space. So then we just get a performance instead of like a skit or some other like, thrown together like interval performance. I like some of the interval acts, but I do feel like there have been years where I've watched Eurovision and I'm like, okay, come on. Like, can we get to this? And I think that might fill the space. I hope. I hope. Okay. Oh my goodness. So many comments. Jack says, they said they will perform during the show between acts. Okay. Yeah, it says they will perform in between competing countries. Okay. But yes. And then Albie, because, we're trying to make Eurovision more affordable. Okay. Less need for interval acts, less cost. I like where your mind is at because we got to make Eurovision more affordable. So that was like one of the big pieces of news. So I think we've fulfilled our Eurovision.tv stuff. Now, so, because we're talking about news, we're going in order and everything. I said that, well, let me hop into some of these comments first. So, Shroomy, I really don't like the rest of the world vote being open 24 hours, though. Makes organized voting way too easy, even if it's just 12 points. I hear you on that. I think that's a fair thing. Paolo, I truly don't believe it will make a great difference. Perhaps it will work an advantage for the more known singers. That could be possible. That could be possible. Um, and then Ebo, the rest of the world voting change is definitely more friendly to international people, but I personally still prefer to vote after the shows. And then username says between acts. So this is referencing like the people performing in between acts. Between acts. Oh, great. More running order disadvantages. I mean, I'm curious to where they will stick these things in if we're performing in between. And then I think that could work. My fear of if there's something that's in the same genre, maybe people will make comparisons of like, oh, this is what's going to happen on Saturday night. Well, I don't need this one if I'm going to get this one on Saturday night. I wonder if that could happen. But ooh, and then this is the first time I've catch you live. Welcome. Oh, and then Satan again coming up in here. Speaking of interval acts, Sarah Tab. Yes, we did get that news this week that Sarah Tab, every way that I can. We got to get Turkey back at the Eurovision Song Contest. I do miss some of the entries, because Turkey they took the contest seriously. They would come with quality. They were coming, trying to make some things happen. So I will say that. And thank you so much, Satan. What in the world? Pamela, I'm just happy to have a vote as American. Same. So speaking of this is actually a good pivot because we got to talk about a little bit, and I just want to preface this with, I really, really don't want y'all fighting in the comments. We can disagree. We don't have to agree. But we do have to be respectful of each other. Name calling, I don't like stuff like that. I just don't. But this is the state of play, so we got to talk about news. So yes, there's conversations of people, boycotting Eurovision and whatnot and all of that stuff. Here is the one thing, and I will just say on the new, like from a newsy standpoint, there is a petition talking about, banning Israel from Eurovision. That petition currently has like 50K signatures. It was started by, I think, a Swedish woman named Lotta. So that's a lot of signatures. Their next goal is 75K, but it's over 50K at this point. And then some folks are aware of the artist statements. So like artists who have petitioned, so like you can sign on, and that one has like 8,000 signatures and whatnot. Now, one thing I will just say on the boycott stuff, I think there is a call being made for people to not vote. I just want to be clear here where I'm at. To me, there historically have been so many like marginalized folks on the stage. This is the Eurovision Song Contest. So I just, in good faith, and as a rest of the world person who never really had a vote at Eurovision, who then got a vote last year, for me, for the artist and for the songs that I love, I just can't, in good faith, like advocate for people to not vote. I think that there's too much at stake. There are real people and their careers and their art on the line. So to me, my advocacy is, I think you got to vote for the songs that you love and the artists that you love. That's all I got to say. I just think you got to vote for the stuff that you want. Now, I'm not going to tell anybody you can't boycott how you want to boycott. I don't really believe in that, other than if we're talking like peaceful. I don't think anyone should be attacking artists on the internet. I think that that's ridiculous. And I don't find it, and I should say not just ridiculous, it's not productive to the larger discourse. So you can individually do what you want to do, but I just can't advocate for people to not vote for the songs that they love. And so do what you want to do, but from where I'm sitting, I don't feel comfortable saying, don't pick up the phone and call. And I'll tell you like an example I think of. Like, to me, semifinal 1, we've got a non-binary artist, Bambi Thug, coming from a country that has been trying to qualify for years. I gotta vote for them. I'm sorry. I gotta vote for them. I gotta vote. I cannot abandon the artist. And now I'm fighting over piddly, I guess, rest of the world votes. But to me, I just don't want to not support the artist because although, yes, it is giving money to the EBU and I understand like boycott stuff, I really, really do. But to me, to cast your vote, you are voting in the name of that artist that you like and the song that you like. So that's the only thing that I will say on it from my perspective. Like, I just can't advocate for that. So that's where I'm sitting in my chair. So yeah. But here, okay, ESC Dakota, I totally agree, but it's so difficult because the EBU still gets the win for failing to uphold their own ethics. I'm gonna stick with BDS on this. I want to vote for Ireland, but I'm so conflicted. Gospodin, I will also vote for Ireland. Oh, someone said, yes, Ireland. We're showing love for Bambi. So, that's all I will say. I mean, I'm just saying, and I'm not saying you have to vote for any country. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying for me personally, I think historically at the Eurovision Song Contest, people from marginalized communities, from small countries, from different backgrounds and identities have been marginalized. Like, and some people want to talk about, and they'll hold up the exception and go, oh, but Conchita, oh, but Donna International. And they'll talk about the exception, but the exception is not the rule. It's an exception for a reason. So to me, I can't be advocating for people not to vote. It's a Eurovision Song Contest. Okay. So you got to vote. you got to vote for the song that you want to see win. So, that's all I'm saying. If you love a song, you want that country to win, pick up the phone and vote for them. Or, get on the internet and vote for them. That's the only thing. But I'm also not going to sit here in this chair and tell people how they should protest and boycott. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to dictate that to anybody else from this seat. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Vote for the songs that you like. That's what this is about. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. And can we talk about the best national selection this year? Because we've been floating this around and we've been having this ongoing conversation, what we think the best national selection for Eurovision was, whatever. I'm going to say this. I feel like I'm living in a world where I'm like, Norway, I think, is still up there. And it's crazy because I feel like there have been stronger MGP years. There have been stronger MGP years, but there were so many songs from it that I really liked. And so I'm still holding on to that. But I don't know. Let me talk to y'all. Let me see what y'all think. What do you think the best national selection was? Okay. And of course, I mean, well, let me just say this. Obviously, Norway I'm sitting with, and Pesma, I think is where I'm going. Norway and Pesma. And also, I kind of account what I'm still listening to, what I think I'll still be listening to. So Terp says I liked MGP and Benidorm. Let me see. San Remo. Y'all, I did not get into the full San Remo playlist in the way that I wanted to. There was just a lot going on in my life. There was a lot going on, but y'all should be happy that I was even really following because y'all know following the national selections is hard. So I did my part. I did as much as I possibly could, y'all. As much as I possibly could. Some of y'all be forgetting that I have a kid. Tony PZE. Okay, Jafar says PZE, San Remo, MGP. I don't think I'm seeing anything that I disagree with. Ellie saying Norway. Bastian says San Remo and UMK. For me, UMK, I can't in good faith say it because really there's only 2 songs that I think I'll still be listening to. Now, if we do it by percentages, maybe there was something. Bukur says Vidbeer. I don't agree. For me, I think there have been way stronger Vidbeer years. And I don't know, maybe it's just because Teresa and Maria just felt so much like the winner. Like, it didn't even feel competitive that much to me at Vidbeer. And I think I put that into like my accounting too, is like, was it competitive? Were we kind of like, ooh, who could win? You have so many options. Like, I don't know if Ukraine had so many options, but also maybe it's a little bit of a curse because Sergio says Vidbeer never disappointed me. I think like that's where I'm sort of in like, is it just because it's so good? That, maybe our expectations are high, like they've just set the bar so high. So maybe, Gospodin says Benny Dorm. I don't know. I had to fall off Benny Dorm a little bit because some of those songs I'm just not listening to anymore. But there were some good radio cuts in there. There were some good radio cuts in there. Ello says San Remo. Oh, Junior Power. We got a Euro song shout out. Come on, Euro song. Come on, Ireland. Come on, Ireland. We want you back at the grand final. We want you back at the final. Come on. Come on, we gotta make it happen. I am Stevan. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, for me, it's Norway and Pizza. Norway and Pesma za Eurovision. It's just, and I think also too with Pesma, I think for the most part, the live performances did elevate. Like there were certain songs that I really wasn't even checking for on the playlist that after I saw live, I was like, oh, that's what that song is? Oh, homegirl who had her amber headpiece. This is your night, dancing free until the morning light. Together forever, cause this is your night. Okay. Now that we're kind of getting the house revolution coming back, I'd be here for us getting like a straight up, like Austria's giving it to us a little bit. My superhero Rob was attempting to give it to us. And then there was some song. What was the song at Lithuania's national selection? It was like Boom or like Zoom. And the girl was singing actually pretty well. We were getting people flirting with it, but I need it executed well. I need like, I need the like, I talk to you in the night, in my dreams. And then the girl, in the night, in my dreams, I'm in love with you. And then people dancing in the background like this. Okay. It's what I need. Okay. Can we make it happen? Can we make it happen? I'm doing too much. I'm doing too much. Oh, here's the song. Lithuania. Sorry, I'm like screaming at y'all. Kaboom. Yeah. Yeah, I need that. All right, so we still on this? ESC Dakota. This is your night. Sorry, y'all. Come on. Oh, wait. This is a good question, even though off topic. Demo Dexo. Do you guys think Måns Zelmerlöw will get a role in Malmö? He's going to be in a skit, right? We don't need him on the stage. Actually, you know what they should do? Remember when they had Corolla come in 2013 and they had the little thing, da, 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 and then the wind blew her off? Can we do that with Måns? Because it'll be an inside joke for us. We'll get it. And then, it's also poking fun at the whole, like, Måns is just, outside the EBU headquarters. And when I will say, when I was in Switzerland and I went by the EBU headquarters, Måns Zelmerlöw was not outside of the building, but I heard reports that he was there the next day. So I don't know, maybe he knew I was coming. And that's a joke, y'all. So they should definitely do a skit. So FF says they should do a skit about how he's always there. Terp says, Måns will definitely be there. I mean, he's going to be there. He's going to be there a little bit, right? He's going to be there. Gary says, actually, since he was not there, he must have been inside. You know what? You're right. Because like I said, apparently he was there the next day. So I just happened to miss him. They actually maybe let him indoors. He probably had to go to the bathroom, right? Yeah. That was kind of them. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that. Okay, so I said best national selection. Let's move on a little bit and have a realistic do we actually no, let's not move on there. Let's do best semifinal, hardest semifinal. In the chat, put the one that you think is like your favorite, and not best, I should say your favorite, like the one where it's like most of my songs that I'm really, really loving are in this semi. And then tell me which semi you think is gonna be the hardest. We could do that in the chat. Here, this is good questions. Tom, hi, Alesia. Is the turquoise carpet only for journalists or can fans attend too? It's my first Eurovision year. I'm coming, so I don't know. Here's the thing. Typically they have a space for fans, so press come early and sort of set up in that section, and then they'll have dedicated sections for fans to sort of come, and they will take like a head count and whatnot. I don't know, given like honestly the tension this year and everything, I've been living in a world where I'm like, I don't know. I think they might do a closed carpet. I wouldn't be surprised. But that's really up to Esfatea, and I think we won't know until a little bit closer. Maybe that stuff will become clear in April, but I do think that that is a good opportunity for fans to sort of line the carpet. You can get your selfies with the artists and whatnot. So I actually don't know. Um, ooh, 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 ooh. Gary says all I care about is Loreen performing statements. Okay, ooh, okay, so y'all got okay, so I got so I'm saying so some of y'all just wrote and I'm confused because I'm like, yeah, what I want to know is what semi is your favorite, like that has most of the songs that you're bumping, but then what semi do you think is the hardest? Or maybe it's the same. So two. Alesia, what do you think about Cyprus and Luxembourg qualifying? Who has a chance? Here's the thing, we're going to talk about non-qualifiers after we get into this. So thank you for the prep. We're going to get there. Okay, username says semifinal one is a better one. It's hard for me because in my playlist, I was listening to a playlist that was doing the songs in alphabetical order by semi and like half. And I did feel like I was living in semifinal one, but I wonder if that was like tainting me because if I'm in the car, I'm not in it for that long. So then I wasn't getting to some of the semi two songs. I have since begun my transition into my ESC faves playlist, which I might share this year, but it's just like not listening to all the songs. It's just the songs that are my favorites, but I like to listen and marinate for a little bit. So then I see which ones I begin to skip and maybe they fall off the wayside. Doesn't mean I don't like the song, just doesn't mean that I want to like really sit with the songs. And it kind of helps me to figure out if I have a top 10, which this year, y'all, I don't know how anyone's going to do a top 10 this year. Because I think I'm like in my ESC faves playlist, I'm like comfortably sitting on 19 songs. Comfortably sitting on 19 songs, like for real. All right. So House of Nando semifinal one hands down. Dakaza says semi two more interesting. Jordan says semi two is my fave. Um Witchhold can't decide. The only Ninkang though, semi one is my favorite semi, but semi two is the hardest. Okay. Okay. Wisteria with recent releases, semifinal two actually became stronger than semifinal one. Here's where I'm living. I think I think people really need to sit with how important execution is. Because I think last year, I remember there were some people talking like we had a strong year last year. I was not living in that space. Full disclosure. I was like, yeah, I think we got some strong songs, but I think we got a lot of beige. And beige in the sense of like safe. You know, where it's like you could have pushed yourself more than this or like Lithuania is a perfect example last year. I liked the song, but did I feel like they had a stronger, maybe more risky entry? Yeah. So I felt like I had that with a lot of the countries last year where I was like, yeah, like I like what you've given me, but like, I could have had something with a little bit more punch, a little bit more oomph. You know, but I think for the people who did well last year, they did well. Like that was fine. And I think also too last year, a lot of the songs that we were talking about, oh, it's so strong. Oh, it's so good, blah, blah, blah. Then when you saw it live, the execution was not together. And I will tell you, I think I'm living in the, because I'm going to tell you, semifinal two, some of these countries, not only do they not have a track record for executing well, the likelihood of them probably not executing well is kind of high because we have like some thin live performances. You know, they're a little bit more novice. They haven't been on a stage this big, you know, some in the second semifinal. So I'm like, ooh. And I'll tell you, I'm worried about anybody who's on the other side of age 23. Anybody on the other side of 23. I'm like, I don't know. Gary, the fave is of course the first, but semi two is definitely harder to predict, same as last year. Essex semifinal two is an absolute bloodbath. I don't know if it's a bloodbath. Y'all, I'm looking at like for me looking at semifinal two, there's only 7 songs I need to see advance. That I need to see advance. From semifinal one, I've kind of got 8, 9 that I'm sort of like living in a world where I'm like, I got to have it. I got to have it. I got to have it. Yeah. Terp says last year's turquoise carpet was Oge only, but then when the lottery started, other fans joined in for the last bits. That's nice. That's nice. They might do the same thing this year, especially since Euro Club is only going to be. Can I just say something? Oge people. Oge people. Why don't you let the people with accreditation get into Euro Club? It's only Oge people? Don't you want to be dipping and doing it with me? If I get accreditation, then I can come in. I've been vetted. Just let me in the club. Just let me in. Okay, sorry. Okay. Jokes. Okay. So I kind of feel like we've done the best semi, the hardest. So for me, I'm living in my favorite. It's weird though. Actually, my favorite semi might be semi 2, and I think that's because semi 2 has some songs that instantly I'm like, okay, I love this. Not saying that semi 1 doesn't have it, but I think I might feel more passion for some of the songs in semifinal 2. More passion because duh, bop. Okay. And so then we're gonna see Ibu's a good question. Are you clearly not gonna get all the songs you like from semifinal 1 advance? I think I might lose one of the songs that I'm like, I need. I might lose one. And y'all already know which one it is. It's Ireland. That's why we have to vote. We have to make sure that Ireland qualifies. Okay, y'all? That's what we have to do. Alesia for Euro Club. Come on. I'm vetted. You can background check me. Okay? You can background check me. All right. Okay. So yeah. So let's move on. So we did this. I want to talk to y'all. Let's just do this because we're living in a semifinal world right now. Who do you think is just definitely out? And I'm gonna look at this. I'm looking at this. Who do I think is definitely out from the first semifinal? Real talk, like in a way, I'm like Iceland could just be out. Like in a way, Iceland could just be out. But then I know that there are some people who love that bit of nostalgia. I'm telling you, I actually think the way Hera Bjork is bringing this song to life and the staging is right. I don't have any notes for this performance. The vocal is going to be great. I think she looked beautiful. Like, do I think the song is building on the genre? It most certainly is not. But I am kind of living in a world where I'm like, I can see some people picking up the phone for it, but it's a tough semi, and it's the second half. I don't know. I'm a little bit worried, but I'm thinking if I wanted to put my money on like surefire, it's out. I'm going with Iceland. Azerbaijan, y'all know I haven't heard the song, but they didn't make it last year. I don't think they have a lot of momentum right now. Yes, we know Azerbaijan does tend to stage well, but I kind of am like they might be out this year. They might be. But it's a do, right? I haven't heard the song, so I don't really know. But it's a do, right? So he could make it. What are y'all talking about? Okay, username says Azerbaijan is also definitely out. Dara says Australia. I don't think Australia's out. Not definitely. Someone said Probs Moldova. I think we got space for Moldova though. I don't think I need, I don't think I put Moldova down as a song that I needed to qualify, but I feel like there's space for it. I think that there's a slot available. I do think potentially. What are we saying? Jossie, y'all, Poland is 100% qualifying. They have a lot of friends in semifinal 1. I actually think Poland's song is good. I'm the one who built a tower. I'm the one who holds the power, so come on, rise up. You know, Lucia, Moldova is not out. Okay, Kaleido says Portugal and Ireland I'm scared for. Portugal and Ireland, we're always scared for them. We are. Portugal made it last year. I just think Grito is immediate, though. And I think they're bringing it to life well. I don't want to be delusional about Portugal. Like, yes, I'm worried. But I don't know. And we're talking semifinal one first. So keep the comments on semifinal one. I'm Steven. Australia and Azerbaijan are borderline out. I don't know. I think we got space for Australia. I think we got space. Here's the thing about Australia. I'll make my case. What's our anthemic message song this year? What's our anthemic message song? And I'm not saying we always have to have one, but we tend to get one. We tend to get at least one. I stand in the eye of the spiral, one of them billions, and I descend to the. Okay. Kiki, Alesia Michelle, is semi one likely to be 5-5? So at the grand final, just someone confirm this for me. At the grand final, are they allowing people to vote early? I mean, rest of the world gets to vote for 24 hours in the semis, but I don't think everyone does. Can someone just confirm that? Like do we get to start? I don't think we get to start voting at the top of the show, except for the rest of the world does. But I think most voters, they're still going to have to wait to vote on the semifinal night. Someone just confirm, because if we can vote from the beginning, then yeah, I think we could be looking at a situation where people are just like heavy hitter, and then we're good. But if folks are going to have to wait, then that makes me nervous that like, oh no, we might get I think generously we could get a 5-5 split. Generously, I would prefer that, but we tend to know things from the second half get more of an advantage. But Shroomy says, am I wild for saying Luxembourg is out? Hype for them is coming back is only really in the Eurofan. Oh, the hype that's coming back from them is only in the fan. Y'all, I think Luxembourg's song is pretty immediate. Dun, dun, dun. Now, it is in the same family as Italy. I do consider them to be real direct competition. Like Tali's not really direct competition for like Cilia. And I don't think Poland, but I do think, because there's a little bit of an ethnic flair to it, and it feels like summer. It feels like summer. And Luxembourg, see, the thing is, Italy's likely performing right in the second semifinal, right? So if Italy's performing that one, then people won't have the comparison to make. And no one's going to know like Italy's song, I think, but us. For real, and seen it like delivered for the most part. Raphael, I think Moldova is more out than Azerbaijan. Okay. Jacquolite. I worry that Finland might not resonate. I think it will. Yeah, I think it will. SC98 Iceland is definitely out. Moldova is definitely out. Azerbaijan is definitely out. Australia is probably out. Ireland is on the fence. I just feel like, but I'm like, everything else, okay. Okay. Oh, someone said, okay, they don't say anything about the semis. Okay, with the voting. Okay, wait, I'm Stevan. In the semis, rest of the world votes gets 24 hours, and then everybody plus rest of the world after the last song. Okay. So, okay, so then I don't think we have to, okay, so then that makes, okay, so then I think we're still looking at that situation where potentially the folks coming in the second half of a semifinal have the advantage. I think we might still be living in this space. Username, Ireland is too divisive. I'm scared to even consider it on the fence. I could either see it qualifying or get second to last, unfortunately. Yeah, let's just let's transition to semifinal 2. Okay, so we're asking like what we feel like. So I told you from semifinal 2, I really only have 7 songs that I feel like I need to see advance from semifinal, that I need to see advance, because I'm just like, I'm bopping to it, I'm loving it, and I really want to see what the juries do with it. But yeah, who do we think is definitely out from the second semifinal? Let me see. Because I saw some people standing for Malta. I'm just worried for Malta because of the direct competition. That's my only fear, is that because sometimes we have seen people pick and choose, and they don't support all of the things in the same genre. They'll just pick the one that they like the most and just go with that one instead of like, sprinkling out the love. Okay, Gospodin says Albania and Czechia DOA. Xander says, I think Malta could be out. There is competition happening. Yeah, the competition. ESC Topless, Malta needs to hit vocals. If she hits, she's in. If she doesn't, she's out. Okay. Sergio says, I think Megara is out. See, I think Megara gets to sit in the plane unto themselves a little bit. And even if we wanted to compare them to anything, it's Czechia. And I think that Megara could best Czechia potentially. Tony says too many girly bops in there. Felix says Albania is out. And San Marino is in for sure. Oh, Wagner, San Marino is in for sure. I mean, San Marino does have the help of Spain too. And I mean, we know Benidorm was a big deal. So people remember Megara. Jordan, Latvia non-qualified for how many years in a row? Felix says Latvia's out. I think there's space for Latvia though, y'all, this year. I mean, really, not even off of like, I think there's space for it, and it's, I think it gets to stand out. All live streams, Megara is out. Who do y'all think is winning the semi? Yeah, we could say, yeah, who do you think is winning the semi? Who do you think is definitely out? I'm Stefan. I think Latvia is out as well. Well, if Latvia is out, that leaves space for Denmark, right? Y'all beat me up in the comments. I already know y'all gonna come for me after that. I will say I have played sand for people, and they like it. They like it a lot. They like it a lot. Okay, Netherlands is winning the semi. I will just tell y'all, I'm living in a world where the Netherlands is winning the semi. Oh, papa, la vida est d'autre. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Oh, papa. I think Albania is gonna win the semi. Super soon, my friends. In the Netherlands. I love that song. Oh wait, Lewis says, Alesia, you keep saying there's space for things. I'm wondering where you're finding the space, because I'm not. I think there's space for a lot of people in the second semifinal, and yeah. Someone said, okay, Terps is saying Switzerland is. I don't think Switzerland's not like a semi-winning kind of song. I don't think though. Like I think it could do well, but I don't see it as like I'd love to see it, but I don't know if that's possible. But I'd love it. So we see ST Netherlands or Switzerland is winning. Mike, Netherlands or Greece are going for the win. I don't think Greece could. I would love it, but I don't know if Greece could win. If that could, I would be really, really happy about that. Bonnie says Denmark will qualify. ESC Dakota says Switzerland, Greece, or Netherlands are winning semi two. Greece has to stage though, y'all. Greece has to stage it, and I think it's gonna be good. I have faith, but like. ESC Topless says, I think the Netherlands will win the whole thing. Oh, well, we're going to talk about winning too. I saw one little, so here we go. David W, Norway, question mark. I don't think Norway could win the semi. Anton, though, is thinking Norway could win the semi. Gospodin is thinking Norway could win the semi. I don't think Norway could win the semi. I think the Netherlands, I mean, this is a televoting semi. I think the Netherlands has like really the advantage. Oh, and then I got someone. We run the dum dum, now we will rave. When the darkness. ESC Dakota thinks Norway could win. I'm not living in that world, y'all. I think Papa has the advantage. I think Switzerland has more of an advantage than Norway. I wouldn't be mad at it, obviously. Y'all know Norway is one of my favorite songs this year, easily. But I don't know. ESC Topless, I see Greece as borderline. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's out. I mean, the way Europe was gobbling up, regular pop music last year, ooh, Alexa, Norway winning. I mean, y'all are just sharing like my dreams. I don't know. Um, Gospel in the Bubble forgets there is an audience for songs like Hollow. Yeah, yeah. Miroslav, do you think Czechia can improve enough to qualify? Short answer, yeah. Because I mean, I think it's still rocky. I think Czechia still has an advantage just being kind of sonically different. My only fear is for the people looking for that sonic difference, they're going to have to contend with Megara. And I think Megara is already starting off with some points. Dakaza, Armenia has all its friends in the semi, and the song is fun. I see it winning the public. But I love Armenia's song. I would love for it to win the semi. That would be really cool. Like something ethnic, something fun that feels Armenian. Like I'm all in. I I love that. Lewis, I just hope Colleen can deliver live. She's been really shy about showing her live vocals recently. Let her stay that way. Let her do the Eleni. You don't have to do these pre-parties. I know some of y'all want to go to the, and like so I don't necessarily want to advocate against, but for some performers, it's like, just, you don't have to, as long as you can dip and do it on the stage and wow us, when you're in Malmö. I'm I'm cool with that. Pamela, Norway has cult fans. I'd be happy if they did win. Yeah, me too. Me too. Okay. And so then we said, so now we're living in a space. So we did best national selection. We did what we felt like was our personal favorite semis, what we felt like was the hardest semi, and then, and then non qualifiers. Yeah, we did our non qualifiers. Okay, so because we got to wrap up the conversation. Let's talk about winner potential at the Eurovision Song Contest, because even if you look at these odds, the odds are shortening. I'm curious. I'm curious what's going on. Let's see. Hold on real quick. So let me see what the odds are saying. So in the top 10 of the odds right now, Croatia in the lead with 15%, Ukraine following up with 13%, Italy following up with 10%, Switzerland with 8%, Belgium with 5%, Netherlands with 5%, Greece with 4%, Israel with 4%, Sweden with 3%, and France with 3%. Now, I'm not saying that these are a lock. We've been seeing a lot of movement, and these odds, these winning chances are real thin. And to be fair, Austria has 3% as well. Lithuania has 3% as well. And then we start getting into the 2% chances of winning. So who do y'all really think could win? And especially sometimes, let's not play games. In an open year, sometimes like safe and boring can win. Because it's like, they'll just go. Because, I always talk about this. The jury sometimes, I feel like, chooses shields. Sometimes where it's, and this is how the shield, France does it a lot. Where the shield ends up being like a song that, yeah, like you can't knock it getting like points and things like that. Like, yeah, you can't completely knock it. But like, we all know, ain't no reason for that to be in the top 10 of all the songs we had this year. You know what I'm saying? Like when they'll do that, I don't dabble in a whole bunch of Eurovision conspiracy theories, but that is one that I hold dear. Okay. I hold it dear because I feel like I've seen it happen. Like, it'll just be these random songs in the top 10 that we're all like, we were checking for that one. We were checking for that one. We were supposed to be checking for that one. Why? Like, it's good. It's good. Okay. So here we are. Okay. Artists, the only songs to get love from juries and televote has to be Switzerland, Ukraine, and France. But there could be shocks as the Netherlands. I'm gonna tell you, Joost is a big name. There are gonna be jurors who give him points because they know who he is. Period. Juries get starstruck sometimes. Ukraine, even with Aliona. Alona. I'm 7. Who's gonna win? I have no idea. Kaleidospace. Oh yeah, Portugal could win the jury. Portugal's not winning the jury this year. They'll do well, but they're not winning the jury this year. We got reality. Oh, why era, why people push Ukraine so much. It's good song, but not top five for me. I think people are factoring in just even the performance of Ukraine last year in the televote, and I think that this song is strong. It's good. I mean, the thing about Ukraine's entry this year is it feels like Eurovision, you know, like when people do that, like it's giving Eurovision. Um, okay, ESC Dakota. At this point, without seeing staging, I'm looking at, oh yeah, Croatia, Switzerland, Netherlands. Okay, I think that's not, yeah, Netherlands for the win, but I would live for Greece, Armenia, and Norway. Testing my flag recognition, but also tiny, my teeny, putting my eyes to the max. Albi Gatto. I'm living in a world where Croatia wins and three Balkan countries return to Eurovision next year. I'd love to live in that world. I would. Aris, juries always blank Norway unless they send a ballad. Um, Fur, Netherlands public winner, France jury winner, Italy or Switzerland winning. I don't think France is winning the jury though, y'all, but I've been living in that space for a while. I think it's good. I think I can see it coming top three. But if Voila couldn't win the jury, I don't see this winning the jury. I see it top three in the jury. I see it even possibly second, but I don't see it winning the jury. I think Switzerland has way more advantage to win the jury than France by a mile. By a mile. But don't listen to me. Listen to Dragon. France will win. Boom. Said it. Nathaniel, the form of singing of the Norway representative is too strange for me, and I think some other people say that. Thank you, Satan. The winners are most likely between Switzerland, Italy, Croatia, and Ukraine. It will be a similar case to 2016, where the winner is second in both jury and televote. I'm still living in the delusion where I think the televote winner could win Eurovision. I still am. I still am. And Pika, I think Portugal can sneak in the top 10, though, for sure. I think so. I think Portugal is a really good shield country to use this year. I don't think that it's bad, but I also think that Serbia could be a really good shield country to use, where the juries aren't necessarily voting for it to win, but it's a good song. And I wonder if some of the juries, you know, really are familiar with Theodora too. Because remember, juries can be starstruck sometimes. Like last year, perfect example, Lorien, boom. ESC topless, y'all. Greece is so overrated by the fandom. Ta, ta, da, 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 da. Da, da. Okay, I'm gonna just throw this up there because it's here. Israel, y'all think Israel could win Eurovision? Because I'm not gonna lie, I can see it happen. I can see it happen. I'm just being real. I'm just being real. Oh well, yeah, not responding to I think this one, but I'm living in that world. What, the world of Greece, of us, or maybe Norway? Casper Lee, don't sleep on Belgium. Here's the problem. I think that that's precisely what's happening. I think people are sleeping. Yeah, I think people are sleeping on Belgium. Yeah, I like Belgium's song. Don't get me wrong. I like it. I'm enjoying it, but I feel like it has lost all the momentum. I don't know what's going on. Okay, and more thoughts. PTR, I would low-key want Netherlands to win because of their hosting. Okay, because you thought their hosting was good. Ilya, Sweden's winning jury as always. I don't know if Sweden's going to win the jury this year, but I do think they could come top 10 or top 5 with the jury. And Nicole, Sweden will probably win the jury. Really? Oh, William, Celine Dion is going to stop making public appearances soon. This could be the year for a Swiss win. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. We got to pray for Celine. We got to pray for her for real. Like, pray for her and her family. This is the year for a Swiss win, plus a Swiss hosted show could be a reset return to the site of the very first contest for my vote. Yeah, that's true. I kind of forgot a little bit about that narrative. All right. Well, that was a very full Eurovision state of play. If you were able to watch this whole time, then you need to be liking this video and subscribing. I'm so happy to have this conversation with everyone. I am so excited for Eurovision 2024. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. We got to get excited for Eurovision 2024 because this is our contest. This is our community. We love songs. I'm excited to see this stuff on the stage, and everybody get hyped for preseason. Preseason, the time when all of y'all start calling out these artists for not being able to what? Execute their songs. So we'll be listening and we'll be waiting and we'll be back here. Thank y'all so much for watching. Bye.